Okay. Hi, folks. Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with Astrology Mojo. I want to help you get your mojo back. And wow. So, can we feel the full moon? We're going to be talking about the full moon in Scorpio today and all its wonders and magic that are in store for you. So, just a little quick, if you don't know me, then you may not know that I say that the planets in astrology, they don't do anything to you, that we live in a cooperation with the cosmos, so that when the planets make a move, you feel it. When you make a move, the planets reflect that by way of aspects and angles in astrology, because otherwise you would be a puppet, and that you are not. You are pure conscious love. You are filled with magic, moments of profundity, waiting to happen. I'm so excited to see what you're going to do in the very next moment with your life, right? Hey, Deanna. Hi. Rikara is here. So hope you guys and gals and those of non-specific gender are staying safe and healthy. And remember, there is always the mindset that can alter the experience. So yes, you want to be thoughtful, wear your masks, but get some fresh air too. Get some fresh air. Go somewhere and take your mask off. If there's no one around, take your mask off, because you build up so much carbon dioxide, you're going to make yourself weaker. But, when you're in a crowd, in a supermarket, whatever you're doing, yes, be responsible. Wash your hands, all that good stuff. Okay, so Sage is here too. Oh, we have a couple of identifications with Scorpio. Okay, so last night I was really it was cool. It's hot during the day. Well, not hot, but for me it's hot. But it's warmer during the day here in Sedona. But at night it's still cool. So I lit a little pit fire, and we just looked at the sunset as the full moon emerged in all its glory. And this is a magical kind of a Scorpio full moon. And again, the planets don't cause you to do anything, but the sun and the moon are not planets. They are celestial orbs that hold a great amount of gravity, no pun intended, on your situation. So tides, emotions, polarities. So the sun is in Taurus right now with Mercury in Taurus. The sun represents illumination, possible masculine energy, and also the truth. So what's the truth for you with Mercury, which represents communication, but inner perception first, what you believe, your judgments, how you come to know your truth, which may not always be in your best interest. So now with this polarity of the sun in Taurus and Mercury in Taurus opposite the full moon in Scorpio, what does that mean? What does it look like? Well, Scorpio, Taurus is an energy of let's just kind of hang back and, we'll just look at some pretty flowers, and it's a WYSIWYG. Taurus is a WYSIWYG energy. It's what you see is what you get. That's it. It's like grazing in the grass. Scorpio, however, is a much more elusive, not like Pisces, but a more profoundly provocative and desirous energy that is kept in the shadow. So not for ill purposes or manipulation or anything, although that can be a definition. But Scorpio energy usually has a more intense feel to it, because it's about the unknown. It's about regeneration. It's about the transformation on a core level, as Scorpio is guided by Pluto. Now, it used to be guided by Mars, which has that same impact of intensity and sexual desire or abuse. But when Pluto was discovered in the 30s, the ancients at the time 70 years ago said, you know what? I think Scorpio deserves its own, instead of sharing it with Aries, I think Scorpio deserves its own profound power. And so when we look at Pluto, Pluto is a planet. Well, no, it's not. It's a dwarf star, but it's still up in the air. People are like, no, wait. Scientists are like, hey, no, it really is. Eris is a dwarf star, but it's bigger than Pluto. So how do we calculate a star versus a planet? So that's the talk in the science community. But in astrology, Pluto is still a planet. And what it represents, or it's an energy, let's just call it that. It's a spherical energy that represents your core transformation. And so with this full moon in Scorpio, what we're really looking at is and my hair is like doing a flyaway thing. So it's like in my, and it's itching. Okay. What is it that you've been suppressing, repressing? Having a desire yet not acting on it because you don't want to go that deep, because you think it would require way too much transforming or change or education, or it's going to change my world and it's going to flip people out. What is it that you would like to magically alter right now? Now, the word magic is something that I attribute to Pisces, but right now with the configuration in the heavens, it's so much pointing toward, we've got some Pluto energies coming up on Sunday through the upcoming week. And then Mars, the planet of action, weaponry, athleticism, sexual desire, or passive aggressiveness, is moving into Pisces. And so it's going to temper that, help you to bring your dreams come true. It's not doing it to you. It's just the awareness for me that you are ready to have some good news. Aside from John Krasinski's some good news, you're ready for some good news. So as the tides are shifting astrologically, and what I look at are aspects and angles, right? So I didn't make a screenshot of this, but with Mars about to enter on May 13th, Mars will be entering Pisces. If you have a Mars in Pisces, or if you are a Pisces sun, rising, or moon, or have prominent placement, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune in Pisces, we're going to see some, in conjunction with this full moon, if you're working on it, and I'm going to show you how, we're going to see some dreams come true. Okay, so yay, dreams are coming true. Now, it could be the smallest of things, and that's okay. But remember that you get stuck, and this is what Scorpio energy is really great at showing you, that you get stuck in an anchor of revenge or regret or cynicism or the negatives that make you, that it's like an energetic charge, the paddles, clear, poof, and you go, oh, I felt that. Because when you're feeling good and happy, who wants to change, right? I'm good. Yeah, it's all good. That's the Taurus vibe. We'll get to it. We're going to get to it. The Scorpio vibe is, we need to shake things up a bit because there's some things you're not paying attention to. So with this full moon in Scorpio, it can bring up a healing for those of you who have experienced trauma, especially manipulation, gaslighting, ghosting, abandonment, abuse. And you may be in a place where you say, oh, I'm really good. I dealt with it. My mom was a thing, or, I got hit by a car when I was 22, or, I was sexually abused when I was, 30, whatever the situation, or I was financially, I went bankrupt, and, my partner cheated and took everything, the manipulation, the under the radar, the shadow happens when it's not a blame thing, okay? There's no judgment. But it happens when you're not aware of the fact that you're not participating in your own life. That's when that happens. And I'm not saying anyone is to blame for any kind of trauma, but especially children. But when that happens, something has happened to someone, the healing must occur at some point. So let's say, and I have had clients who have experienced like massive trauma. One older woman now, but when she was very young, witnessed her mother's death, very traumatic. Another one witnessed her best friend's death in a violent situation. Another one kidnapped, so there's a lot of trauma. So when you're older, things like a full moon in Scorpio tends to poke at those wounds and says, are you sure you're done? Because we want to be the clearest channel we can possibly be so that we can resonate that higher frequency. That's what we're looking to do. Let me just tune in. Hi, Sage and Rakara, also a Scorpio moon, like Deanna. And Elizabeth says, I'm into some good news. Cindy's here. Hi. Can't breathe in the mask, says Deanna. Yeah, it's a lot. So you really need oxygen, because the mask helps you, as I said earlier, to keep the nasties away. And also if you've got something and you don't know it, you don't want to, put that in the world. But you need fresh air. You need fresh air in your lungs. You need oxygen, because when you have a mask on your face, you create carbon dioxide. And you can't wear that all day. Now, people, and so let's further applaud those people in the medical community who have to, or people who work in supermarkets or any store where you have a necessity, they are wearing masks. They are literally at your service. So treat them, extra kindness. Tip them extra, whatever you need to do. Let's just put that into the world too. Okay, so getting back to the Scorpio full moon. I think it's important to, when you look at, it's not just, people say to me, and I've said this so many times before, when they say in a reading, I don't want to hear anything bad. It's like, well, I'm only going to see what you have created. And I'm going to see your potential so that you can get beyond your own spin, like get out of your head. And so that lends itself toward letting go of attachment. The negative side of a Scorpio energy is very attached, very possessive, very manipulative. So, manipulation does not have to be negative, okay? Little kids who learn how to negotiate their environment. Here's an hysterical example of a friend who has a 4-year-old, and he really wanted a toy. And the mom said, okay, well, we do need you to participate a little bit more before we reward you with a toy. So how about we clean up the toys after we play? And so began the negotiation. So then he started this whole revolution of figuring out how to best manipulate the situation, negotiate the situation to get what he wanted. And he's a Scorpio, okay? And he's 4. So he starts out with, oh, please, Mama, please, thank you. I love you so much. So that's one way of manipulating with sweetness. And Mama was, well, thank you for saying that, and I love you too, but you already have a lot of toys and you make a mess with them and you don't clean them up. So now we need to clean up the toys. And then he went into, you have things in the bathroom counter. You haven't cleaned those up. Okay, so here comes the resentment. How come I don't get to get something new and you do at the store when you have a mess in your bathroom? So there's resentment, right? And then it was, sweetie, Mom is cleaning up the bathroom. I clean up my stuff. We need you to start participating. Do you understand? And then it went into, okay, you know what? I'm not going to let you give me a snack today. Yeah. So here comes more manipulation with anger. And so this kid is rolling through every version of what he thinks will get him. It's like, I'm going to take away your privilege. That's what he says to his mother. You're not going to get me a snack today. Oh, and the mom says, trying not to laugh, really? Okay, well, how are you going to get your snack? Well, I'm going to let Dad do it. Yeah, because he's going to be happy and you won't. And so it went on and on and on until, they finally came to a conclusion where he acquiesced and he realized he needed to participate with his environment. Does that make sense? I mean, it was hysterical, the whole thing. And he got the toy. But first he had to participate consciously. So, because the toys won't put themselves away, right? Who's not heard that in their lives? So I thought it was really funny. And I thought I wanted to use it as an example as a full moon energy in Scorpio, because when you're ready to participate in more aspects of your environment, you're going to stop attaching to a certain outcome. All right. Does that make sense? Because the Scorpio plutonic energy, it attaches to, no, you're mine. I love that. I love that jacket. That's my favorite jacket. I'm never giving that up. It's, no, they don't deserve that because they didn't work hard enough. So there comes an energy with it on one level of awareness, and that's the 3D, right? 3D is the victim, it's the extremes, it's the perpetrator and the victim. That's the third dimensional reality. We are moving into fourth dimension and into fifth dimension. And fourth dimension is, oh, wait, I have a choice. I can do something different. I can stop my thoughts. And with that, slows the vibrational swirl of the victim's world. And then I can plant a thought. And in that thought, I can collaborate with the universe. I can be a co-creator because I am pure conscious love. And with that, I then am in the fourth dimension reality. I have an outcome. I have a stake in the outcome. I can make it happen. Then you become the proverbial entrepreneur in business, and your business is your life and your world. So you become your own entrepreneur, and then you say, well, okay, during this full moon in Scorpio, what can I do? Well, you can, like my husband and I did yesterday. We wrote some fears down on a piece of paper separately, and we had a little fire pit going under the light of the full moon. It was beautiful. And what we were ready to let go of being attached to making it happen or stopping it. Because when you're attached to something, when you're attached to it, there's no flow. You keep it from coming. So it's like, and I'm talking about both sides of it. One is, I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to work on it. I'm not going to talk about it because the fear will bring the thing to life. That's one side of the coin. The other is, I'm working on it, I'm working on it, I'm working on it, I'm working on it, I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about it. And it's like, whoa, you gotta let it go. I'm not going to sing that song right now. In my mind, I'm singing it right now. Every third word in my head becomes a song. Yeah. Oh my God, I can't stop this one. Oh, I'm being followed by a moon shadow. Okay, who else is here? Hi, Brittany. Scorpio rising and Venus Scorpio dealing with trust issues of betrayal. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And Vicky, funny story. It was a funny story. It makes me chuckle still. So whatever you're dealing with. I'm sorry. I interrupted myself as usual. So we wrote these things down on a piece of paper that we wanted to let go of. And then we thanked the universe for our conscious awareness. We thanked spirit, guides, angels, multidimensional beings of light for helping us to let these things go. And we tossed them into the flames. And then it was, well, now what do you want to do? It's like, well, I'm not going to go back to thinking about what I was just thinking about. I'm going to do something different. So we did. So when it comes to really focusing on the cycles of life, so Let's bring it up. What do you need to let go of? What's the extreme? What keeps circling back? You keep circling the drain on the same issue over and over again. Are we not tired yet? Yeah. And then beautiful things start to happen. You start to I was watering plants last night after we did our little ritual. And I looked at, there was a droplet, or actually it was right before the ritual, but I had it in my head. And I went into a spacey thing and I was watching the water spray on the leaves. And I watched this one drop. It just went whoo, plop onto a rock, whee, plop into the ground. And I just stood there and watched. Like, that is the beauty of flow. That when you're not attached, when you're not stuck. So I would highly recommend that during this full moon vibe in Scorpio, to get some fresh air, revitalize with oxygen. Think about those things that you really are ready to stop working so hard on, or to stop revisiting because it was traumatic. And as you choose to let these things go, you can do many different techniques. Of course, there's EFT tapping. If you're not familiar, I have YouTube videos on that on my channel, Astrology Mojo, or Elaine Marolakos Edelson, Astrology Mojo. There's also there's ways of here's a Donna Eden energy technique where you would lie on your back on comfy pillows, and it doesn't matter which side, one hand goes on the forehead, the other goes on the back of the head, directly opposite the eyes, and you just lie down with your elbows out, relaxed. Close your eyes and deep breathe, and bring attention to cradling your head. And it helps to move some energy, stuck thoughts that keep spiraling over and over and over again. And any kind of connection to being present, any technique that you know of is going to work, because it's not so much the technique as it is your intention to connect with it. Okay? So, does that make sense? Let me just check in. You love that about me, that I sing songs? Okay, thank you. You love that song? Moon Shadow? Yeah, I did too. Cat Stevens was my first concert. I think I was 15. Oh, and I must have told this story before. If you've not heard this story, this is a fun one. When I was 15, I had some friends. And their mothers drove us to Madison Square Garden so we could have our first concert. Well, I don't know if it was their first concert. It was definitely mine. And my mother would only let me go if the other mothers were present. So I went, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It was my first concert, Madison Square Garden. It was a magic show, and, Cat Stevens, and I loved it. Okay, let's fast forward to meeting Dean 24, 5, 6, 7 years ago, whenever it was. Are you listening, Dean? I'm sorry. It was June 1st. That was our first meeting when I gave him a channeling session. And then we got married on July 21st, 4 years later. So we have several anniversaries that we celebrate. But anyway, what happened was we had moved here to Sedona 19 years ago. And so maybe about 17 years ago, I used to look to clean out closets and drawers all the time, every few months. And I find this big, thick wallet that was Dean's. And in it, he's got concert stubs from forever. And so I'm going through them, and I pull out a Cat Stevens one, and I'm looking at the date, 75 or 76, I forget which year. Anyway, I look at it and I go, you were at this concert? And he said, oh yeah. And I was like, so was I. Little did I know my future mate, lover, husband, best friend could have been sitting right behind me. I love that synchronicity. So you don't know, and I'm circling back to, this is not just random. I'm circling back to what you let go of now is going to bring that dream closer to you. So have the intention, okay? Have the intention. Hi, Amy is here. Hi, all. So let me just check into anybody else. Come say hello to me, Elaine Marolakos Edelson. We're talking about the full moon in Scorpio, and then so many other wonderful things are happening this month. Okay, we're already in the vibe of the Venus in retrograde. It technically begins next week, but we've got Mars moving into Pisces on the 13th. I'll be talking about that on Monday, the 11th. And so I urge you during this full moon of May 7th. Now, if you're watching this in a replay, you can still do it any full moon. But the one now in Scorpio that I'm talking about is really about bringing up the core desire for transformation, because that's what it's about. The core desire to be the real you. Will the real you please stand up? Now I got game show songs in my head. So for my birthday, I asked for yet another deck of oracle cards because I like to play with them. And this one is The Enchanted Map by Colette Baron Reed. And see-through because of my green screen. And so I'm going to, it's fun. This is one of her older decks. Artwork is still pretty. Messages still very beautiful. And I'm going to pull a card for the full moon in Scorpio for you today. Now, a lot of these videos will get uploaded this past week that I've done, the past couple of weeks, to YouTube. And right now you can find me by going to Elaine Marolakos Edelson on YouTube with Astrology Mojo, and subscribe and click the little dingy button, and then you will be notified of when I have uploaded fresh content. Hey, Michelle's here. Scorpio Moon. We got a lot of Scorpio Moons here today. All right, so you people who have Scorpio Moons, I want you to pay attention to anything that you have suppressed related to anger. Or betrayal or manipulation. And it can be on your part. You did something 20 years ago and you're like, oh, damn, I wish I'd never done that. I feel so terrible. If that keeps coming up, I want you to write about it, light a safe fire, okay? Like not in your living room, unless you have a fireplace, and burn the paper. Or you can bury something. You can put it into a stone. Hang on. There we go. Black schorl, also known as black tourmaline. Okay. You can, I just have to, what's that? All right, got it back. Color and lighting. This is black tourmaline and also known as schorl. And it works in a way that it's a very Scorpio energy type of stone. And so is, where's the other one? Don't have it in front of me. Nuamite, the sorcerer's stone. And so you can work with these stones and project your trauma, your betrayal, your manipulation on your part or their part. No matter how many years you've worked on it, if it's still coming up in your mind, and other than a thought like, oh yeah, that happened, and there's absolutely zero attachment, great, you're done. Hooray. But if there's the least bit of feeling of, and you're trying to shake it off, and you don't have to be Scorpio moon, sun rising, or whatever to do. Anybody can do this, and you just project it into the stone. Okay, you could take a rock from outside too if you don't have these types of stones. Project it and then bury it on a full moon, and then dig it up on a new moon. Okay, there's another great technique you can use. But in the meantime, okay, so here's the Enchanted Map Oracle cards that I'm going to pull from right now to help you work through some stuff. And remember, it's not the cards that are the oracle readings. It is the energy that comes through you. It's your higher self, your monadic structure, your star seeds, your higher light beings, the vibrational parts of you that connect with other parts of you to help you heal. Oh, okay. Here it just literally flipped up and out. It's called Magical Map Shifter. I thought it said Shapeshifter, but I don't know how to read, do I? Okay. Magical Map Shifter. Pretty cool, huh? I don't know these cards yet, so I'm just going to glance in the book and see what it says. Magical Map Shifter. Spirit orchestrates everyone's destiny. And you are spirit first and foremost. Exactly what I'm talking about, okay? This is the Magical Map Shifter. It comes with a mission to make you aware of the people who come into your life to impact your personal growth. I have to turn the page. It invites you to be the best you that you can be, or perhaps someone who leads you out of difficulty into a place of safety and success. Pay attention to those individuals who have a map, who cross your path these days, in the upcoming days, who help you reflect on your journey. Be awake and aware. You'll recognize them for the important change agents that they are. Your whole perspective about who you are and why you're here will shift. The Magical Map Shifter always initiates you into a better version of yourself. Let me be a spokesperson for the Magical Map Shifter and say that when your energies align with your deepest desire to serve and to be who you really are and who you came to be on this earth, you're going to go through several things. And these literally fell out of the deck. Education, this one I know. And that is, it's time to learn something. It's time to teach something. And so this learning during a full moon is embracing what you know to be true and then letting go what you know is not. Okay? So we talk for centuries on how to let it go. And literally, if you can take, and this takes a little bit of effort, it just does. If you are in a spin of they did that and I can't believe it and I can't get out of it and I'm so sad or I'm so depressed or I'm so upset or okay, feel your feelings. Absolutely. That's the biology of you. Then you need to grab your thoughts and focus on something else. Something that is neutral to positive. What gives you joy? I will watch videos when I'm stuck in a moment, when I can't think anymore. I write for a national magazine called the Sedona Monthly. I write the Intuitive Astro Forecast, and I write 6 months in advance. And sometimes I'm just stuck. And I look and go, now, I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again. And I only have 75 words to say for each sign. So when I get stuck, I go to YouTube, and I'll look at a comedy video, impressionists. I will look at baby lambs jumping around, or baby animals have been clinically proven to help raise your level of dopamine and happiness and serotonin. So find what works for you, watching things grow, seeing people laugh, because that intrinsically is the deepest part of our nature. I almost went into like an accent. The deepest part of your nature is to, what's this one that fell out too? Compass, is to recalibrate your compass. You're ready to do that? I think you are. I know I am. I need a haircut. I have like so much hair right now, and it's like it's romance novel hair, I'm calling it these days, because it just goes on and on and on. And hair, long beautiful hair, shining, gleaming, streaming, flaxing, waxing. What do we got? Lucy, hi Lucy. Christine, you are my map hitter, shifter. I'm a shapeshifter. Well, I'm going to be baking today, full moon madness. I'll tell you, my madness is in the kitchen. I have perfected so many keto recipes. I can't wait. From pound cake to pecan cookies to pita wraps to what else, Dean? What else have I been making? And in the meantime, I also have, and I forgot to post it. Dean, if you're listening, I don't know if you are on a conference call right now, but I have I got to find it now. I'm sorry. I was just playing around with cards. Oh, my karmic clarity session. Okay. So I want you to be able to benefit. And you can book through. Now I had trouble getting online to send out emails. So I had to send like a bunch yesterday. So forgive me. I don't mean to spam you. But I want people to take advantage of this special karmic clarity reading. I had one yesterday, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Not whose it was or their personal information, but just a topic that comes up. So the karmic clarity reading, I think, is something that can help you now. And you can get to that place of, why do I keep spinning the wheel? Why do I keep going round and round and round? Well, sometimes we do it because we're ruminating over, how do I make a change? Do I really want to make a change? What would it be like if I didn't do this thing? Yeah. So, okay, now I just got to get the link. But now with this full moon special in Scorpio, yeah. Now's the time. Now's the time. Okay, let's see if I have the link here. I think this is it. I'm going to post this. And originally it was to be only for through May 8th that you could book. Well, now you can book through this Saturday because I want to give more people a chance to actually go there. And this is my birthday gift, 40 minutes with me, with you. And let's see. Book now. I don't know what else to say. There you go. And it's something that can help you really come to terms with, as I was saying. I did a reading yesterday, the Karmic Clarity Cake reading, and I was looking for the link while I was talking. So I'm there we go. So I had a session with someone. She's a powerful woman, and she's very effective in creating change in her life. And she wanted to know about something specific regarding October. And this is natural in a reading for people to go, can you tell me about what's happening in the future? And I'll say, yes, of course. But my point was, with everything that's happening right now, the Venus in retrograde, the Mercury in retrograde coming up in June, 2 eclipses, Mars entering Pisces, angles with Pluto. I mean, there's so much happening. It's all kind of coming together through July. And I said, what you do now through July, and we talked about that, the changes you make with your inner beliefs, with your core beliefs about what you want, where you want to go, your heading, your direction, your path, that's going to determine what happens in October. Okay, so we had that conversation and she said, okay. But before we run out of time, I want to know, is this thing going to happen in October? And I said, okay, that it depends on you. When you go to a reader, folks, and you're asking a specific question, which is great. You want to help them hone in on the direction. It's not just, is it going to happen? And it's random and they see something that you don't know about. They see what you're creating. Okay. So if you want a specific outcome a few months from now is the time to look at what's stopping your progress, where the anxiety is, where the fears are. That's going to stop your progress and your flow. Does that make sense? So I assured my client that here's, these things to do in the next couple of months, because this is a karmic issue I'm looking at in the karmic issue, in the karmic reading, the Astro Cake session that I'm giving, is Saturn and Neptune and what they're doing in your natal placement and in the transits, because those are the two karmic planets. And karma's not good or bad. It's just a harmonizing of energy and frequencies. As you raise your level of awareness, the things in your life magically change. Funny how that works. And you know what it is that people say, seeing is believing. It's the other way around. It's the other way around. Once you believe, you can start to see matter change in your world. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, so I'll be back on Monday and on the 11th, and we're going to be talking about Mars moving into the constellation of Pisces and what that can look like for all of the signs. And in the meantime, during this full moon in Scorpio wave, pick those things that you get really like core frustrated about. And you can look at the world right now and go, I'm so frustrated with this administration. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay, so if that's where you want to start, I'm so frustrated with what they're doing. Okay, take that feeling, put it on a piece of paper. I'm so frustrated with what they are doing. Take their name out of it and ask yourself, when's the last time I felt that way before this administration, before those people, before that situation? Well, I felt that way when I'm 52 now, and I felt that way when I was 39 when this happened with my boss. Okay, write that down. I was so frustrated when I was 39 with my boss. Now take that person's name out of it. Now before that, when were you frustrated? Before you were 39. And then you're going to keep going and keep going and keep going. And then you realize it's not about them. It's not about the thing. It's about you, your perception, your behaviors, your attitudes, and what you're attached to. That's what this full moon can help you clear. Does that make sense? I hope so. And once you get there, that's when you take that thing. Oh, the core is, I feel helpless. I feel powerless. Scorpio energy represents power. Venus represents power. Venus in retrograde, vulnerable to that power, to that lack of power, powerlessness. You see how all the universe now is really conspiring in our favor to put it together and say, we're going to give you as many spotlights as possible for you to realize and recognize what is going on the inside. Body, mind, spirit, your pure conscious love, bottom line. But you also have thoughts that get diverted, scattered, squirrel, attached. Now we're going to do a little detachment. Yeah. Make sense? Yes. I'm singing hallelujah in my head, but I can't hit those notes right now. Hallelujah. Okay, so Amy says, I'm so frustrated I haven't gotten married yet. Okay, let's not focus on that. Because what is marriage to you? What are the definitions? Marriage means this. And if I don't have this, then I'm less than. I'm not empowered. I'm disempowered. Or I want to have a family. I want to share this thing. I want to do this thing. So you keep going back and back and back into, when did you feel powerless as a child? When were you told, oh, you're creative. Oh, that's wonderful. You'll never make any money as a creative person. Or all little girls are supposed to want to grow up and get married and wear the princess dress and look beautiful and a tiara and have babies. Is it true for you? But why? Where's the attachment? You have to let it go. No, I'm not. I'll do voice lessons first before I sing that one. Thank you for finding that step. Find that step. You can do it. I'll be back on Monday, folks. Be well, be present, and detach. I don't think I've ever heard a song with the word detach in it. I don't know. Maybe not. I'm going to go look for that. Okay, folks, I'll be back on Monday. Have a beautiful weekend. Come and join me and spread the word. I want to help as many people as possible to break those patterns that stop you from being who you really are and what you came here to do. Be happy, be sparkly. I'll see you on Monday.